So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls. I'm letting you know we are on the home stretch. What a great time of the year. What a great time of the year. The sun's out. People have got air of optimism that the finish line is not too far away. And in addition to that, I've got to say to you, the real estate conditions have been as good as I've seen in many, many, many years. We've got a marketplace here that is flowing. I wouldn't call it a crazy seller's market. I wouldn't call it a crazy buyer's market. But as I've said to everyone that listens to me about what I think about the market, as a real estate agent, if you're a great agent, it makes no difference what the market's like. Because if you know how to list and you know how to be a deal maker, it's always a good market, because we are a volume-based industry. Volume, volume, volume. Today, of course, we're going to be speaking to Sahil Bhasin. And I have to say to you, he's one guy we've seriously got to get to speak at ARIC, because, and I know he's got a desire to do it, and I know he's very good. One of the reasons I just think at times we haven't been able to get him. He spoke at a conference for me last year. This time last year, actually, Sahil, if I can remember, it was in Melbourne. Am I right?
One was with Panos and one was with another one that you did as well.
Correct. So you actually spoke at both. Correct. And I've also got with me the great Joel Arnold, who's becoming the face of iD4me in the last 6 months. Good to see you too, Joel. How you been?
Been great, Tom. I'm excited. This is my second webinar with you, and it's great to have Sahil with us as well. And yeah, I like that, the air of optimism. It's coming, the finish line is close. And so, it's exciting to be here, and hopefully iD4me can continue to support its customers and to grow their business and grow their listings.
I'm going to show everyone my age here. I want to let you know, before iD4me was out, what Tom Panos used to do was go to Marital Council. I would pay a small amount of money to be given access to council records. Then what I would, because we had no iPhones, we had no cameras on our phones. No, we had a pen and paper, and I had a little spiral pad, and I used to write down the names and details of people. And they used to allow you to buy records, and you'd be there for like 15 minutes, writing down. This was what life was like in 1991 as a Ray White real estate agent in the inner west of Sydney for me. I was a hungry agent that wasn't brought up in the area, that needed to get names and numbers, and that was the way I would do it. I'd probably get records of 10 people in 15 minutes. iD4me in 2025 with a subscription of around $100, thereabouts. That's what it roughly is, isn't it, Joel? You know, it's roughly there.
Roughly there, Tom. Roughly there.
Okay. You go in 24/7, name, number, mobile, email, multiple properties, social media handles, can work out whether they're good guys, bankrupts, whether they got legal action, driving around, expired listing, you see it. One of the biggest challenges that we've ever had is not being able to get onto the person that we want to in speed. iD4me changed the game. It's been a couple of years now. But we don't sit on our webinars and just, talk about the benefits of iD4me. We bring it awareness, and we always bring a practitioner who's been using it. And also we bring a practitioner that can also lend their energy, their brain, their expertise, their intel. And today, none other than Sahil. And I've got to tell you, before he tells you his story, mate, this is a story. This kid didn't come up from a $30 million mansion in Toorak at a private school in Melbourne, go to Melbourne University. I don't know. He might have gone to Melbourne Uni, because I think by that stage you were in Australia. What age did you get here in Australia, Sahil?
12.
You got to Australia at the age of 12. Give everyone a quick snapshot of your story.
I'll keep it as short as possible, but born in India, and then we moved to Iraq, and Dad worked for Al Rashid Hotel there, and then we fled in the Gulf War in 1991 to Kuwait, and we fled the border there on the day that the war started, got into a minibus with 7 other families that were Indian and fled over to Kuwait. Lived in a refugee camp for 7 days on a basketball court, bumping shoulders with people, and eating rice off the floor when it would come in tip trucks once every 5 days. And then we were back to India, applied to go to Australia and Canada. Australia said come first, so we came here. And then, some of this, it's all got to do with hard work, but it's basically we walked from, some people would be here from Melbourne, but walked from Melbourne Airport to Bell Street, which is the first possible exit that you can get on, and then caught the tram up, walking with our suitcases, caught the tram up to Dundas Street and High Street, where I actually do a lot of my work now. We've sold over 200 properties in the last 3 or 4 years in that little golden triangle component. And got a $100 Salvation Army with a Salvation Army voucher and started from there, from the corner of Dundas Street and High Street. And then around the corner was Woolies. We used to push trolleys in for $1 a trolley. And then, worked at Hungry Jack's, $4.95 or $4.75 an hour it started with. And then worked our way through RMIT University. It was a sports centre in Bundoora for people that know Melbourne. And then made my way to the top of the sports centre era, and they, like ARIC, they have another thing called Philex, which is their biggest conference, and presented at that, and then got employed by the best leisure centre in Melbourne, Melbourne City Bards, and we won Leisure Centre of the Year. Then went into project management, fire engineering, state government advisory, and then the way I got into real estate is I had 10 or so rental properties at the time, just working my ass off and remortgaging everything. And one of the best practitioners I had in the property management space, because let's be honest, property management, it's very hard to find a good practitioner, was Madeline Cahill. And she worked at Nelson Alexander at the time. And I said, listen, you're the best person I've got. All these 9 properties are not managed that well. Do you want to start a business together? And we started a property management business. That's what we did. And I still kept working as a fire engineer side of things at Roscon. And then we went to ARIC. She said we should go to ARIC. We went to a couple of others. And, the talks that John McGrath and Tom did in 2020, that's what inspired me to throw in the towel in fire engineering on a comfortable, 250 odd K salary and start something. So here we are. So from there, we started off doing zero sales, no name, started our own brand. And this year's gone a bit slower because I've built our own house, but normally try and do about 200 sales a year at the moment. And this year's about 170. And the main thing as well is we built an organic rent roll of 600 without purchasing anything. That was it. But ARIC and the gym, the real estate gym, were a big inspiration, and I listen to them. Anyone that's on this should join up to the gym and listen to it while you're driving. You do nothing else but scroll Facebook and Instagram, but listen to the gym. It's really, really powerful. Just repeat what they say, it works. So I've done it from a non-real estate background.
Yeah, well, everyone, thank you for that too. I love infomercials coming from clients, and I've got to tell you, Sahil, Real Estate Susan knows 2026 is my super focus is just making real estate gym go to the next level, and it's going to involve me working a lot more closer because I'm letting go a lot of my one-on-one work to focus on the real estate gym. Now, Joel, whilst Sahil was speaking, we often don't talk about iD4me in the property management context, but in fact, a lot of people use iD4me in property management. Can I ask you what areas, Joel, and if you want to add in, if you've got anything to say at all, Sahil, feel free. But Joel?
Yeah. So the 2 use cases that we get used for is obviously owner-occupier. That's the first one. But rightly so, looking for absentee investors. And so, sorry, absentee owners or investors. And yeah, we partner with a number of influencers in that BDM world, but certainly it's just as useful and effective in that environment where, one thing that our platform's really good for is you can get a sense of when you look at a property, if we've got some listing information on that property, which is reasonably common, it will tell you whether it was recently sold or whether it was recently leased. It also shows you like the brand or the office or agency that listed that property. So for just at an absolute minimum, you can understand whether that property is a rental. And then the secondary component from that is you can do a bit of a background dig to figure out whether or not we've got the owner's contact details listed to that property. One thing that a lot of BDMs do is, and so do sales agents, they do the same thing, but they'll work with a property database, where you get your title information from. And so you use that in conjunction with iD4me. And in that sense, it's very, very effective to be able to go and locate where the absentee owner may be. So it's really good in that sense. And we're actually piloting what we're calling a BDM white space service at the moment. Now, it's not something we've made available, but trying to take for those of you that may or may use us, we do data washing. So we can do give you contact data for owners at scale across suburbs. And we're trying to work out a way to remove our owner-occupied properties and leave only rental properties. And therefore, you can do a similar process, but purely for BDMs. And we know that a huge amount of time goes into just firstly being able to understand, is this property a rental or is it not? So we want to try and take that out of that process and leave you with a list of numbers of owners to call. So this is something we're developing. We're partnering with a brand in Queensland. I'll leave them out of that, but so far the results look pretty promising. So, but in any case, the platform on its own is still very, very effective for BDMs. And so I absolutely agree with that use case. And Sahil, I didn't know that that your background was sounds like you've been reasonably successful with everything you do, but particularly with building out rent rolls. iD4me can be very, very useful.
Yeah, and in conjunction as well, to jump in, Tom, is that we're obviously a subscriber and use iD4me absolutely every single day, and our VAs use it as well. But one thing to add to Joel's layer, if you put another layer of the onion as well, is I don't know if many people have seen the new features in Ignite. If you're on they used to call it Premiere or whatever it was, but now they've got a new thing on to make some more cash. So basically, if you're on the top level of membership with realestate.com, they've got a map view, and you can actually look at it in map view, and it shows you in red dot. Yeah, exactly, Joel. It shows you in red dot points, which are leased properties, which are owner occupied properties. That is absolutely amazing. If someone just did that.
Okay, you just got me. I didn't know about this. So you've got to be the higher level on the subscription on Ignite, is it?
Yeah, it's the REA platform, their monthly subscription that they have. So they've got tiers of subscription now. If you're on the highest one, in the back end of Ignite, they're essentially trying to eat away at some of the softwares that are out there. And you can do proposals from there and all sorts of things. But one good thing that's really good about it is when you use it in conjunction with iD4me, if you have one screen open with realestate.com, it will literally show you a map of Fitzroy, every single house with a red dot that's leased, every single house, and you can turn them on and off, and you can put filters on them as well. And if you just got a VA to do that, and you could not get 10 or 20 listings a year out of that, if the VA just concentrated on one thing, you had a set pro forma and a letter, and they send one out for rentals, they sent one out for sales, and you couldn't get listings from that, you're doing something wrong. It's a very, very powerful feature with iD4me combined.
Beautiful. Team, I feel like I need to filter today's conversation with as much useful information with 5 weeks to go. I got to say to you, I reckon these are the words that I want coming out of your mouths to every client you speak to at your CRM system or calls from your iD4me. It's a very simple sentence. what's your plan for the new year? I want you to know January listings are built in December. And I want you to get on the phone and be calling as many people as possible. And I want you to check in with care, not with commission, at this time of the year. Sahil, what are you doing, brother, to turn this end of year rush? You know, like tradespeople, I see them in the morning getting their coffees. We've got to get these jobs done, and everyone's driving me nuts. There's this rush to Christmas in all industries, and no difference in real estate. No difference in real estate. How are you turning the end of year rush into a listing advantages? What are you doing to try and reactivate, you know, past appraisals or anything that's stalled or Yeah.
One thing just to add on to what you said before, just, you know, January's made in December. Get a spreadsheet, an old school spreadsheet. We all use way too much software, and I'm not finishing the year without a spreadsheet that's on the wall having 15 listings on there that's signed up. If you come to work every single morning and you know you've got to do 3 or 4 listings a week to get to that January launch, if everyone does that, you'll have a very, very successful January and February. But
what the winners do. The winners set a target and they say, by the 23rd of December, I would have listed these. No, they're not launching. I get it. They're being listed, but you're going to go away on a break knowing I've got this stock secured. And so, Hill, how do you feel about a lot of real estate agents do like soft launches of this stock before they come back? Because there's a lot of people scrolling. They're not there physically at opens, but they're scrolling on their mobiles on Boxing Day. You know, you've had enough of the mother-in-law. You've had enough of the turkey. You're lying down watching the Boxing Day test, you know, on, where is the Boxing Day test? Is it Sydney or Melbourne? I keep forgetting. Melbourne, Boxing Day. Day one, Boxing Day test.
we're telling vendors about low stock numbers in January. So you've got to have your own USP first, develop it. So you've got your stock list on one wall. What's your USP on the other? So this Christmas, we're only going away for a week. We come back on the 12th of January. Our VAs come back the week before. Okay, so sell in isolation, not in competition when everyone else launches after Australia Day. We're going to be here for you. You know, you can use your highest buyer sort of competition and explain the competitive buyer pool and show them spreadsheets. Once again, turn up and go, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, we're averaging 5 to 6 bidders per auction. How many, you know, we've got so many people with still empty hands, you know, knowing I've got a backlog of eager buyers and showing them the list and go, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we had Mr. Smith that missed out on 22 Panos Street. And they need to find something and link it to a heartstring. They need to find something before the school year starts. They're a doctor. They're changing hospitals. They need to find something before January. You know, the market realizes that you're trying to make the owners have a spark that you're going to get a bidding frenzy for them. And tell them that you've got a backlog of buyers. Tell them, that, you know,
every Melbourne real estate agent that is on this, don't get me wrong, we got a fair few. We got some heavy hitters there. You know, Peter ain't no slouch there with his lime green jacket there. You look $1 million, brother. You're no slouch either. But I got to tell you, you know what I've noticed about a lot of real estate agents in Melbourne? You know, come Melbourne Cup Day, Spring Carnival. I mean, I know it's still happening next week because I've got to come to Melbourne for work. I can't get in a hotel room. Every hotel room's booked in the city. I'm trying to work out Melbourne Cup's finished. Oh, no, we're still celebrating. Everything's going on. Next thing you know, you're in December. Next thing you know, they're saying to you, oh, the Australian Open's on. Nothing happens on the Australian Open. When does it start? It starts on Australia Day. Yeah. Starts on Australia Day. What do you basically say? We stop work on Melbourne Cup Day and we start again on Australia Day. Welcome to the 9-month agent. Congratulations. The 9-month. So Hal's got the right idea, mate. Sit there.
Use your script, Tom. Use your script. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I completely understand that you're not ready to put your home on the market today. What I suggest is like taking out an insurance policy. Remember you said that one, Tom?
Yes.
Taking out an insurance policy. We can list the property now, but launch the full campaign later in 2026. It's called our list now, launch later strategy. And what it allows me to do is I do all the paperwork now. So you're probably aware, Tom, that lawyers and conveyancers go away on the 13th of December. They don't come back until after Australia Day. So then you've basically lost all of January. We can't sell your property. What I suggest we do now is have an agency authority signed. I can get your contract of sale prepared. I can get the marketing floor plan done and keep your listing in my back pocket. That way, if I come across any buyers in the next month who are perfect for your home, I'm able to quietly mention it to the potentially mention it to them and show them. Would that be okay with you? And just shut up. And they'll be like, they get really excited. They're like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, and you just, yeah.
Sahil, and I've got to say to you, what you've just repeated is beautiful, but it's not an Amway sales line. I have to tell you, every year I see the same thing over and over again. A golden opportunity for an owner to get top dollar because there's no other stock around. People have got time. They're searching, right? People don't sell. They seem to want to come back when all the vendors come back. Don't come back when the vendors come back. Come back when the buyers are back, right? Yeah. And then what they do is they whack their property, and we see this. We see this the last week of December. So I think it's not right to have someone auctioning their biggest asset on the 20th. I've changed my view. I didn't think so, but I think on the 20th of December, right? I think there are people at Westfield. I think there are people that are nursing hangovers. I think people are at the beach. And I just think with 3-4 days to go, it drops. But on the 26th, 27th, they're back out there again because this Christmas shopping thing has come to a bit of a pause. So I suppose what I'm saying is work counter-cyclical. When the other sellers are there, you don't have to be there. When the buyers are there, that's what you've got to do. Real estate is simply a demand and supply equation. You know that, don't you, Sahil? That's what it is. It's demand, supply.
It's emotional, getting the buyers excited, getting the vendors excited. And you can use things like this, like, you might find that we get an emotional, eager buyer that's willing to pay top dollar even before we formally go live. And if it's like, and we'll officially launch on the 12th of January, if you prefer, with no marketing cost lost. And, Mr. and Mrs. Panos, did you know that Boxing Day is one of the most viewed days on realestate.com online, when people are sitting at home, scrolling on their phones and doing nothing? What we're actually suggesting as well, Tom, and this is the second year we're doing it, is that you might want to launch your property. I'm happy to come in on the 24th of December, and all of our staff are working. We'll launch your property online. And I'll just explain why. It goes a little bit counterintuitive to what you've said, Tom, but this works. So what you do is you launch on the 21st. It's at the top of REA on the 25th and 26th when they're doing nothing after eating Christmas turkey, right? And then what happens with REA is it rotates to the top on the 15th day. So if you can display all this to them in a graph, so the 15th day after the 24th of January is the 8th of January, ladies and gentlemen. And then what happens, Mr. and Mrs. Panos, is your listing is going to be at the top of REA again on the 8th of January. And I come back to work on the 12th and we start doing open for inspections. And I'll have 20 or 30 people that want to go flying through your property in the first week when everyone else is asleep. No other properties are on the market, and you'll end up with a fantastic result.
Oh, so well. Listen, Sahil, there are two types of agents in January, and you're in the good bunch. You're the ones that take off like a rocket with momentum. And there's the other type that come in. Where do I start? For a start, they're feeling unhappy. They probably smashed themselves with heaps of booze. The belt on their stomach is really pushing their belly button really hard. They put on 2 to 3 Ks, but that's not their biggest problem. Their biggest problem is they're thinking, where do I start? I got no listings. I got no opens. I got no buyers. What am I going to do? I'm going to go home early, watch round 1 of the Tennis Australian Open. Not Sahil, mate, this guy's here. We're going to launch with momentum. We're a momentum business. We're a momentum business. I want to ask you just...
Two other little quick things is that you can, so not having commission breath is you can work on the buyer side as well and get them. We work a lot with Blank Financial, Bernard, Tom. buyers pre-approved. Okay. So it takes him 2 or 3 days to get buyers pre-approved. So then that way you've got a buyer when you've got a listing. The next thing you can do as well is work with owners to say, hey, listen, it's been spring. We need to get your property ready. Like my background, a lot of it's in construction as well. And I specialize in mini makeovers. If we list this property for you, even if you don't want to list now, part of our list now, launch later strategy is you don't want to list with me in January and it takes us a month to get a property ready for you. By the time you do styling, photos, garden, painting, let's list today. I'll send all of our trades around and I deal with trades that don't take, I can't deal with anyone that takes the whole school holidays off. So that's just my mentality. I've got a whole trade bank ready. We'll have your whole house ready to go. And even if you want to photograph it in the first week of January, I've got photographers ready to go. So that way you're still a month in front. So if you want to launch at the end of January or even at the start of February, we need to start preparing your property today, like now.
Gold. Team, get your mobile or get your computer to take some snapshots of the slides I'm about to give you. Number one, I want you to finish the year strong. While everyone's winding down, we're winding up. We're here today. We were here on Melbourne Cup Day. We were training at 4 o'clock. Play offense, not defense. Don't wait for momentum. You make it. Pick up the phone, knock the door, send the text. You create energy through activity. Average agents wait for the market. Sahil doesn't. He creates the market. 2026 listings. Every Merry Christmas call equals a future listing. Check in with care, not com. Ask questions. What's your plan for the new year? January listings are built in December. Next, I want you to educate your vendors early. Smart sellers list now, launch later. Let's take out insurance. List now, launch in January. That's the strategy Sahil's been talking about. List now, launch in January. Fewer listings equals more buyer attention. Be the agent who leads strategy, not follows the herd. And then be visible when others are vanishing. When everyone's disappearing, you stay active online. You stay in people's faces. You stay in the area. What the good ones are doing right now is buying themselves 50 bottles of red. I don't know. If you're in Melbourne, go get a $20. No, if you're in Taylor's Lake, I reckon a nice $20 bottle will get you what you need. $20 bottle, Taylor's Lake. Maybe if you're in Toorak, you might actually go 35, 40, right? I'm not sure. All I'm saying to you is grab yourself 50 bottles of red, eyeball to eyeball, belly to belly, say thank you. Before I forget, Joel, can I just ask you, New Zealand is up and running because we've got a lot of New Zealand, Joel. We've got a lot of New Zealand people. New Zealand is up and running. Can I confirm that?
Yep, we're live. We're now in our third week, I think. So yeah, it's all go.
Now, can I ask you, Sahil, what is one thing that you picture you and your office seem to use in the sales side with iD4me?
We use it for a lot of things that you probably, everyone knows the main, find a vendor, look up their number. And I'll give you some examples of where we do use it, where you might not have thought of. When you get an email inquiry come through, a lot of lead agents are not concentrating on buyer work. They've got a buyer's person. All they do is go, this person only had an email. I couldn't get in contact with them. I've emailed them 20 times. You know what you do? Get your VAs. Every email, now more than 50% of people don't put their phone number. Get your VAs to get their phone numbers and email, you'll get their email, but from their email, get their phone numbers through iD4me. And when you call these people, they're so surprised. And if you're just energetic and not scared of anything, sometimes I just tell people, I'm a refugee, man, just calm down. I just got your details from here. I'm just trying to help you out. You want to buy a home? You've made an inquiry. I'm trying to set you up with the right house. Can I just find out what you're looking at buying? Rather than going, are you interested in 156 Smith Street, Parramatta? So you can use iD4me for getting contact numbers from inquiries because you'll have more traction through your open for inspections. And what normally happens is people that are making inquiries are also turning up to your open homes who are also potential listers. Do you know the amount of people I list since we've got iD4me that say, I can't believe that you looked up my phone number you got my LinkedIn because you can get a LinkedIn plugin for Outlook. So when they inquire, REA lead comes in, our VA double clicks their name, up comes their email, comes up 80% of their time with their LinkedIn profile. So I know what they're doing. So I know how to talk to different people. If you're a Sparky, I know how to talk to you. If you're a surgeon, I'm not going to talk to you like that. If you're a doctor, I'll just be like, I understand you're busy. You're inquiring out live on place. Can I assist you? I know that what shifts are you working next week? I can get you in to have a look. And when you get them in front of you, you normally list their property as well because you explain how you got their details and no one else has even got their details. So that's one version of how you can use iD4me. And the second one is sorry.
So, Sahil, by the way, I was at an event last week and a guy, I don't know whether he was trying to stump me or something. He goes, oh, it was a prospecting session. And he said, oh, that sounds all good, but you're not at the coalface making the calls like us. We're constantly asked, where'd you get our number from? And I just looked at him and I said to him, why wouldn't you just say the truth? And he goes, like, what's the truth? I said, the truth is, are you a subscriber to iD4me? He goes, yes. I said, so you pay the monthly fee? He goes, yes. I said, well, all you say is, we subscribe to various databases. iD4me is one of them. Your details on it. And he goes, okay, fair enough. That was it. I said, I mean, what's so complicated? I can't understand, like, where did they get my details? Mate, relax, mate. Like, there's data everywhere. Meta's got data. iD4me's got data. White Pages, the data's there. Like, relax. Anyway, tell me about the second application that is not so commonly understood by people on using iD4me that you use.
It's very along the same lines of the one that I just spoke about, but we do a lot of project sales as well, so off the plan projects, and in that, no one puts their phone number whatsoever. But if you can find out where that person lives, and their phone number, and send them a brochure, and land it in their letterbox, like I just give it, like it's $3 for the post, like developers paying for the marketing. All you've got to do is, if someone told me every com's 20-25 grand, right? Like someone told me, here's the 1,000 letterbox, I'll give you $3 in a heartbeat per letterbox now. So it's more that if you can get someone to aggregate the data, you don't have to be that person. All I hear in real estate all the time is we haven't got time, we haven't got time, we haven't got time. All I do during the day is calls. Your prep was done at 11 o'clock last night, reviewed it again at 6 o'clock this morning. During the day, you should only be calling. We're up to 48 calls from this morning, and have Tom's clicker here and just run them through that and have a back-end person aggregating this data for you. But what you need to do is have a business plan. All these ideas are great. I don't do everything that every agent does. I do things that work for me. You need to set up a business plan, and Tom and Panos are doing one next week, I believe it is, and no one can,
Tuesday.
Yep, no one can stop learning, and I'll be at that one. Even if you pick up one or two things, everyone needs to pick 10 strategies they're going to work on. 2 of them might involve iD4me. 2 of them might involve Tom's Gym. 2 of them might involve, Santa letters, dumps with wines, Christmas presents. Pick your 10, 15 things that you can do. Don't be sporadic, be regular and be consistent. And if you're regular, consistent, just doing them things, and you're coming to work and these things are happening all the time, you will get leads, you'll get listings, no doubt about it whatsoever. Just turn up every morning, just keep making calls. If someone doesn't like me, that's fine. I'll just do what Tom's doing, just keep walking around the park, making calls and getting phone numbers.
That's it. I just worry. I don't worry about results. I worry about the process, because I know at the end of the day, water finds its level ground by itself. That's the way that I operate in my head. I don't get too caught up. Now, I want to let you know, team, here is some of the things that you should be doing. Also, this time of the year, be ready for the rest. Schedule post deals, get your iD4me subscription and set up. It probably takes how long does it take, Joel? If you want to be set up for iD4me for 2026, the process is, what is it? Susan, do you mind putting into the chat box?
It's already there.
Thank you. What's the process, Joel?
Just go, you can jump on our website. If you are happy to sign up there and then, takes about a minute and a half. and your account gets verified overnight, and then you've got access immediately. If you're wanting to get a little bit more of a demo, so Sahil's given some of the secrets away there, but we've got a team there that will give you a walkthrough. Generally, you can book a demo same day, worst case the following day. Demo goes for about 15 minutes, and if you're happy with what you see, same deal. You can just sign up straight away. So yeah, there's nothing stopping you from getting access to that data. It's really just as quickly as you want to do it.
And now add on also, sorry. No, I was just saying, adding on to your points there, Tom, is, aside from iD4me as well, is do some other bits and pieces to launch for next year. So like, if you know you're going to be selling in Fitzroy, Carlton, get some lifestyle photos done. These cafes go broke every 12 months. I'm big on lifestyle photos and painting the picture of where you're going to be living. Get new drone photography done. Invest in sporting clubs. Try and work with your sporting clubs and find out what they need. It's not always money. Sometimes they turn around and go, you know, Billy broke 50 cones, or we lost 80 cricket bats, or mate, just slam 80 cricket bats on their front door. We got broken into and this happened. Get your marketing plan done. You know, work with the gym, work with Tom. They've got a set structure. Tom, you've got that flow chart. I use that with Sinner in our office. That flow chart's amazing. You utilize that. It has most of what we're talking about. And choose your niche. Like you might become, the deceased estate specialist. Just give you an idea. Become the deceased estate specialist. Go on to consumer affairs. You can purchase every real estate agent's database. You can also purchase every lawyer's database. Just spam every single lawyer. Start having coffees and meetings with lawyers and tell them how good you are at deceased estates, getting things read, throwing things in.
Nation works. I was sitting on a plane with a guy that, get ready for this. This is what he does for a living. He was on an iPad playing backgammon. You know that game backgammon? Right? He was on there, and we got chatting. I said, "Oh, you're playing the computer?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Just sharpening the skills." I go, "All right." We got chatting. I go, "What do you do for work?" Guess what he does for work? He's a professional backgammon coach for billionaires. Work that out. Like he goes, "I make a living." He goes, "It's a true niche." He goes, "You got to understand. There's a group of old men. A lot of these people, Israel, Russia." He said, I spent a lot of time in Monte Carlo with a few billionaires, and they like playing backgammon against me. He goes, "You only need 5 or 6 billionaires to have a good life." He goes, "Life's good." Anyway, team, what I want to say, and I haven't done it this year so far. I'm letting everyone know what Sahil was talking about is working with us. We have launched a new program. There's only 2 ways that you work with us. It's through the real estate gym. And Susan's going to put the link up there. If you join the real estate gym now, you get all of this year training for free. So you get November, December free, and you get 12 months membership. Thank you for doing that, Susan. In addition to that, there is 29 spots left in Black Belt. I'm going to read out what Black Belt is. This is my first introduction on Black Belt. It is a 12-month transformation program that includes 4 2-day masterminds every quarter that are laser focused so we can sprint and sharpen our prospecting, listing, negotiation, and mindset skills. Every month, you'll get a one-on-one for 30 minutes with a high-end executive coach, qualified executive coaches. And if you want, you can make that fortnightly. But we worked out, after surveying our people, what you want is me involved more in the room. So you get 4 of those a year, every quarter, as well as a monthly check-in, a one-on-one coaching session. And of course, you get our monthly accountability. We're only giving 1 postcode per agent. So if a postcode goes, right? So Susan, if you don't mind putting in the expressions of interest, because this is not deciding that you want to join, we also have to approve you, because we're going to be with you very close for 12 months. We also got to feel comfortable that you're going to feel comfortable and that it's going to be valuable for you, right? So that is Black Belt. In addition to that, we're going to be doing a one-on-one immersion session in John McGrath's office on the 24th of March. And that's going to be with him and me, and he's going to give everyone a backstage view of how all his EBUs operate. Now, Susan, have you put the iD4me? All the links are there. All the links are there. Black Belt, Real Estate Gym. iD4me is there. Asil, send an email to Don at iD4me, and he will sort you out. Asil, good to see you, Asil. Asil, and I think I haven't seen you for ages. Good to see you. She's in New Zealand. Thank you. Love, heart, back to you. Now, Sahil, I want to thank you so much. I want you and your family to have a good
1 week off.
That's all. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, if you love what you do,
Yeah.
leisure time's overrated. But don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away. I think this is a time for family. And I actually put a post up. Your family, your kids, 90% of their life with you is up to the age of 18. Then you only have 10% left, like it goes. So never feel guilty having time with your family, because you only get 18 years of it. The rest of it is just sort of episodes. If you'd like, Joel, great to have you as the face of iD4me. You're a considerate person. You don't oversell it. But at the end of the day, let me tell you what I've heard people say to me. iD4me subscription paid for itself in the first week. That's what people say to me. In the first week, paid for it. Sahil, thank you so much, sir.
No problems at all. Thanks for having me on, Tom. Have a
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Sahil. Appreciate it.
No worries, Joel. We'll chat soon. Cheers.